Hey guys, welcome. In this video we are going to take a look at reading user input and then operating on the user input and producing output. Okay, so remember, one of the most essential characteristics of a computer or any machine is input, process input, produce output of a useful form, hopefully. Okay, so let's make a new project here. Simple console application, click OK. Alright, there's our default template. I'll paste some code down below, and what I will do is walk you through the construction of the code, and I will show you two different ways of doing the same thing. Okay, just so you are aware of the fact that you can do things several ways. So step number one will be to write a prompt to the screen. So console.writeLine, and now you're going to write here, enter your first phrase and close that with a semicolon. Okay, like this. Alright, next you're going to say string. That's a data type, as you can see, it turns blue. Okay, and now you're going to say S1, and you're going to say console.read, and read line, so you can read the whole line. So we'll read the line from the user, and then we'll store that to S1. It's a string data type. Alright, then we're going to do that again, so you're going to do another prompt, console.writeLine. So enter your second phrase, close that with a semicolon, then string S2 equals console.readLine. So now we've read both of our lines into the program, and those values are stored in S1 and S2 respectively. So the next stage, what we're going to do is type string S3 equals S1 plus S2, like that. Okay, so we've declared a new variable that is a result of concatenating the other two. Now we're going to print that, so console.writeLine, and then you're going to type S3, close with a semicolon. Okay, so this will display S3 to the screen. The next stage in the process, we're going to apply one function, so we'll define a new string, S4 equals, and now S3 dot to upper, like this, and close with a semicolon. So this is a function, it's a piece of functionality, it does something. In our case, it's going to take the string, the characters one by one and all that, and convert everything to uppercase. Okay, that's what the meaning to upper. So to upper, there's a parentheses, you see that? This is a function like this. Okay, just like read line is a function, just like write line is a function, you see? Just like main, see that? Then there usually it's a parentheses, and this stuff here, okay, those are called the parameters, and then the values you pass in are the arguments. We will talk about that in great depth later. Okay, so remember, for our purposes in the context of this lecture, we want to accomplish a task. We use a function to accomplish a task. Simple enough. Alright, so next we are going to do this in the display S4, so console.writeLine S4, and close with a semicolon. Okay, this code here that I've constructed thus far is extremely sequential in the sense that it will begin on the top and then process line by line to the bottom. Okay, so it's very easy to execute. However, I will now replace all that code, specifically these 4 lines here, as follows. You will write console.writeLine, and then you'll write within the parentheses S1 plus S2 dot to upper, close with a semicolon. Okay, so this is the more compact but functionally equivalent version of the code, because here S1 and S2 will be concatenated, and then that result will be converted to uppercase, and then it will be displayed. And remember a general principle: when you see parentheses nested, especially, processing occurs from the inside to the outside. So that means specifically S1 plus S2, concatenate those two, then at the next stage you would convert, and then at the last stage you would print. Okay, so from the inside to the outside order of processing in this context. Okay, but this is equivalent to doing the concatenation, right, converting to uppercase, and then doing the printing, you see? But now it's nice and compact. So debug and step into. Let's take a look at the results, make sure we truly understand them 100%. No purpose in learning things unless we truly understand them quickly and well and deeply. Alright, so let's take a look at the results here. Let me get the console on top. Minimize that. Perfect. Okay. So there's our little app. Alright, so notice at first all of these variables here that we have, S1, S2, S3, S4, each of those now is null. Okay, so that's a new data type, string, and the default value for strings, as you can see, is null. It's not anymore. Let me just move this, rearrange this little window here. It popped over a little too far. Okay, notice you see this, these are all nulls for each of the variables that we have. Alright, like that. Okay, that's the default type. Next, let's move on. So now what we will do is process these very sequentially. Okay, there you go. Step into the body of main, enter your first phrase, wait for input. Alright, so this is a great day. Hit enter. Notice that's been stored to S1, as you can see. Next stage in the process, enter your second phrase, because it's the only day we really have. As we know, yesterday cannot be reclaimed and tomorrow is not guaranteed. Put a space right there. Okay, there you go. So at that stage you can hit enter. Notice that now this second one is holding that string. Okay, and now take a look. S3 right now is null, but about to be assigned the concatenated form of S1 and S2. There you go. So now it has been. Now that is displayed. Now look very carefully. You'll convert to uppercase, and notice that here, as you can see, S4 is already in uppercase, but it hasn't yet shown up here. Okay, and that will show when you write a line. And lastly, just to prove to ourselves visually that this next line here is equivalent, let's hit that and notice that it produces the same output. Okay, there's no local variable associated with this one here, but the output on the screen, as you can see, is clearly the same. And now I can unload this from memory. There you go. Okay, so this is available in the sidebar. Please copy, and well, make sure you study the code. I recommend, as always, shut down Visual Studio, type relaunch everything, type this code as much as you can from memory. Do that a few times until you develop a true understanding of why you are writing each symbol. It's really important to, for example, when I write a plus, I must know absolutely why I'm placing that plus in that position. Okay? And that obviously comes from practice, experience, and a lot of persistence, because I know at first things seem stubborn and perhaps a little difficult to grasp. So you must practice, practice, practice. That is the key to everything. Okay? Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.